Okay, first grade, now that you are done painting your animal, it's nice and dry, now we can start gluing it on to a background and start using the flowers that we made a couple of weeks ago. So step number one is you'll go over to the supply cabinet and you will select a single colored background. So for mine, I picked red, Jalen picked yellow. So go ahead and pick your color. Once you have your color, now we have to get our animal ready. So for those of you that remember, my animal was going landscape and Jalen's was going portrait. So my paper is laying down, Jalen's was standing up. Over by the supply cabinet, I folded some tape because before we glue our animal down, we are going to take a folded piece of tape. We're going to put it in the middle of our animal. We're going to put our animal where we want it. And we're just going to push so that way our animal is down, but it's not glued down. So our animal is staying still. So what we'll do is we'll bring all of our flowers that we made back out, and we are going to glue these down and put them under our animal so that our animal is over the top. So that's why we didn't want to glue our animal down yet. Remember, one thing of glue goes between you and your partner. Our brushes are soaking in water so that way they don't get hard as a rock. So they are full of water right now, so I need you to wipe the water off, and you can even dry your brush off a little bit on the cardboard. So you'll choose whatever flower you want to work with first. We are putting glue on the white side, and we are putting our shape on the cardboard. We don't want to paint on top of our animal or our colored sheet. We're painting on the cardboard with the glue. We dip just the tip, spin the brush so it doesn't drip. Because these shapes are small, we don't have to go around the outside and do an X in the middle. You're going to go ahead and put glue on your entire shape. Remember, the paint brushes can just go on the cardboard. We're not sticking them in the glue. And now you have to decide where you want to place your shape underneath your animal. And once you know where you would like it, you will just push and hold. And you can rub around the edges to make sure that your shape is staying down nice and tight. Now, before we go on to the next flower, you're going to notice that your spot has little circles, and those circles are going to go in the middle of our flower. That way these will look more like flowers and less like shapes. We're just going to use white because we're learning about contrast. And remember, contrast means different. So we have a colored background, we have colored flowers. So we need something that's different than all the color that we have. And we don't have a lot of white. I only have white in my nose and the eyes. Jalen only has white in her eyes. So by using white, we can help contrast all of the color. So with our scissors, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to bubble cut 2, 1 for me and 1 for Jalen. And then we can go ahead and do a line cut around the black. You're gonna notice that me and Jalen cut ours out different. I cut mine so that you don't see the black, but she cut hers so that you can see the black, and either way is fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to glue these circles down on top of our flower in the middle. So if you're somebody that wants a nice black outline, you will cut your circle out so that you can see your black line. If you just want a white circle, you can go ahead and cut the black part off. We can grab our glue. Glue the whole shape. And we can place it right in the center of our flower. Push and hold to the count of 5. Rub around the edges. And flower number 1 is done. So you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna keep going. You're going to pick your next flower. You're gonna glue it down. You're going to do your white circle, and you're gonna go until you fill up your background. You need to do at least 4 flowers. That's the least amount. And the most that we want you doing is 7. Don't do more than 7 because you'll run out of room. And doing any less than 4, we won't really notice the flowers. So do either 4 flowers, 5, 6, or 7. Okay, first grade, you're probably gonna notice that I was gone for a minute while Jay was working. I was looking at my picture and I had so much empty space that I went ahead and used all the flowers that I cut. And I still wanted one for over here in the corner, but I didn't have enough flowers. So if you don't have enough flowers, you can always cut another one, which I did. And you can go ahead and I can add it because I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 would have been fine, but I want one more, and I said 7 was good, and that should be the most amount of flowers. So I like having my background filled in all the way. So I did 7, Jalen did 5, she did some along the sides and then one towards the top. And something else that I'm hoping you realize that I did on mine was one of my flowers is actually hanging off the paper, and that's okay too. Actually, 2 of my flowers are hanging off. So that's okay if some of your flowers are coming off of the page. Okay, once your flowers are all done, now we can lift our animal off the page. We can turn it around, we can take the tape off, and we can replace the tape with glue. Now the animal is a much bigger shape than the flowers, so you'll want to go around the outside edges, and mine's pretty big, so I'm probably going to do 2 X's with glue. So you're gonna notice that I'm stopping you right here. My animal is not pushed down. If we push this down with our hand and start rubbing, all of this black oil pastel is gonna smear everywhere. So we actually have white scrap paper that you can go ahead and put down on top of your animal. And now we can push and rub our animal down really nice, and as long as the paper is not moving around back and forth, it is not going to smear any of your oil pastel. So this is a really good trick when you have things that you need to glue down, but you don't want it to get all over your hands and you don't want it smearing everywhere. Now, one thing that you're probably gonna notice is, look at my tail. My tail did not stay down. The rest of it's pretty good. I'm doing my fingernail check, making sure that it's not popping off, but my tail is popping off. You have to remember, painted paper is a lot thicker than normal paper. We can cut normal paper and glue it down. These little white circles probably got glued down really easy. But thicker paper just needs more glue. So if something is starting to pop off, we just need to add more glue. Okay, first grade, as long as everything is glued down nice and tight, nothing's coming up, we're done with this project. That's all we're going to do for it. You did a really great job. We learned a lot of new techniques. If there's still time left in class right now, you can go ahead and put this on the drying rack, and there'll be one of 2 things ready for you. There'll either be another project for you to go to, so you'll go to the next bucket, or if there's not another project, there'll be Art for Kids Hub in the next bucket. So either way, go to the next bucket and you can go ahead and work on the next thing until class is over.